Hey everybody, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness. Sorry I did not get that vlog out last weekend, and this is one of the reasons, or pretty much the main reason why I couldn't. I'll show you this here in a second. I finally saved up to get a backup emergency solar system, and there's really not good sunlight in our yard just because of trees and houses and things like that. So I had to dig a 120-foot trench by hand. This is it right here, because I couldn't really get my hands on a trencher. But this was my project out here. You can see the two stands that I made to hold the solar panels, and they're adjustable with some heavy-duty door brackets so that I can change the angle between summer and winter. But coming along. That one in the back is pretty much complete. Maybe I could do a video just to show you guys how I built this. It was all just with lumber. I didn't really want to buy any type of expensive metal prefabbed thing. And this one here, almost done. Just need to finish the conduit. One of my solar panels was busted up, so I have to return that. That's why the third one isn't there and it's not done. But I was working on that, and I've been working on the garden. Built this new gate because my other one was just falling apart and didn't really put much effort into the prior gate. Mia, come here. Here you can see my puppy now. She's all grown up. Last time you guys saw her, she was, well, she only, some pictures, I think she was only about 12 weeks old. But yeah, here's the garden. It is, I don't know, 25 by 60 feet. It doesn't look like much because we've pretty much harvested everything. All the sunflower heads are dead. We got the big ones harvested and they're drying out. And the rest of these ones, we'll have to see what the birds left us because they went crazy over them. And got some sweet potatoes. We already got some more radishes. Got some beans growing. Doesn't look like much, but I'll tell you what, it's come a long way because this thing was completely covered in weeds. But I got a chip drop. So I don't know if you guys know about that website. It's just, I think it's chipdrop.com, and you can get free wood chips. So arborists in the area, they want to get rid of the chips from their jobs and cost money to dispose of those. So through this website, they link up arborists with people like you and me, gardeners, and instead of paying money for the to get their chips taken care of, they just give it to people for free. So it's like win-win. The only downside to this is you can get on an upwards of 20 cubic yards. So I was always very hesitant because you tell them, let me just pan over here. You tell them where you want the chips to be, but you don't get to, come on man, you don't get to tell them when to drop off the chips, and you don't know how much you're getting. So again, it could be a small little job or it could be up to 20 cubic yards. And so my hesitancy was, what if they bring 20 cubic yards and I told them I wanted it dropped off by the woods, but if the ground's wet and they can't do it, they might drop it off by the street, which would be horrible. So I got over my hesitancy, went ahead, signed up for free, and got, I don't know, about 12 to 15 cubic yards. It was big, but luckily it filled up my whole garden, so it makes it look nice. Covered up, I weeded everything and then covered everything up with the chips, so now I don't have to be breaking my back weeding all the time. And it's good for the soil if you keep on adding in the chips like year on year. But yeah, back here, just put a whole bunch of blackberry plants. I got Jerusalem artichokes, these things that look like corn. It's called sorghum. We're just trying like all sorts of different stuff. The garden originally, like I planted a whole bunch of subsistence crops like potatoes, beans, corn, turnips, radishes, all that stuff. But now we're just sort of having fun, you know. As we were walking through the garden, I didn't point it out, but there were these plants called amaranth, Let me call my dog. Mia, come. Here she comes. Mia, wrong way. Come here. Here she comes. So we planted all these subsistence crops, and then once, you know, I started learning about how to do that, we started getting into like really fun stuff for the kids, because I've always been saying, you know, prepping isn't just for that specific collapse scenario. It's just, I don't know, it's just sort of nice to be able to teach the kids where their food comes from. The kids have had a blast digging up potatoes, sweet potatoes. They like getting the corn and the beans, just like a really good family activity. So it's, you got to think about that whenever you're doing this stuff. Like, it's supposed to be fun. It's not really supposed to be stressful. So yeah, back there were these really pretty plants called amaranth. It was the bright red one that you saw. I also had some giant golden orange ones, and I would love to take all the seeds that I harvested and put them way back here, because they're just so bright, so pretty. I'll have to share with you a picture when they were in full bloom. It's just really pretty plant. Anywho, this back here, this isn't my property. It's the township's property, and it's sort of desolate. They haven't used it for like decades. It's really unusable land. And me and my neighbor, we just cut this path through here just so we could have a little hiking trail for the dogs and stuff. And kids love to come back here as well. Sort of reminds me of my childhood. My parents had a house with lots of woods behind it, so I've got all these memories of going back in the woods and doing stuff. And having this back here, it's good that my kids could likewise do the same. The only problem is there is really horrible poison ivy back here. I have tried to spray and do all these things, and it just laughs in my face and keeps on coming back. And the kids have gotten poison ivy so many times that they haven't really been coming back here. But yeah, I would love to maybe like spread some of those amaranth seeds out here, and it'd be so pretty, along with this ironweed. It's really not in full bloom yet, but we'll do this one. I think this is ironweed, a little bit out of focus, but these pretty purple plants. Goldenrod is going to be coming in bloom too, those bright gold plants. It'll be a fun time. But let's take a walk back through here. Hey Mia, you want to show off? Sit. Good girl. Free. Good girl. It's been a long time since I shared with you my struggles of getting a dog, and how originally, just because shepherds are very difficult dogs when they're in their puppy stage, she was tormenting my whole family, and I thought I made a huge mistake getting this puppy. But did a whole bunch of training with her, so now she's a really good dog. But no, it's nice. We got this, I mean, I've been weed whacking it and carving this out and spraying for poison ivy. Got this nice little trail back here. So we'll take a walk and talk about some of the things I'm seeing in the news, because it'll be a separate video where I go into more detail and share videos and screenshots like I've done before. But things are getting pretty crazy. I think the biggest thing right now is everything in regards to energy. So I will at least plug in 2 graphs that I've seen on Twitter. And one was the exponential rise in price of electricity for Germany and France. I will have to defer to the chart to see how many times. It's like double-digit multiplication times over in terms of the increase in cost in euros for megawatt hours of electricity. There's tons of businesses in France and Germany, and other European countries are affected as well. In the UK, maybe not as bad, but tons of businesses just saying that they're not going to be able to survive just due to the increase in price of electricity. And so this seems to be one of the biggest challenges on the horizon. So we're seeing food shortages start to creep up a little bit more, at least in the US. I don't even know if I'd call them food shortages per se, but we're seeing not as much selection. And the other one is just energy. Obviously there was like a lot of crisis with regards to gas and diesel. Diesel's still actually pretty high. Although gasoline prices came down, diesel really hasn't come down that much, and that's still affecting the global supply chain system and the costs to manage that. But yeah, it seems like although food shortages are definitely a thing and we should keep an eye out on that, it seems like the biggest crisis right now is all in regards to energy. So hence the reason why I got that little solar panel system. Obviously that's not going to allow me to hedge inflation if our prices go up exponentially. I mean, sure, I could cut down a ton, and that little solar unit, which I'll do a review on it probably. It's from Pecron. There's been a lot of preppers that have been using that. I could probably use that to run my refrigerators and freezers like indefinitely, as long as there's good sun. Mia, come. Here she comes. Come on. But to power my whole house, I don't have the money to have a whole solar system, so that's just out of the question. So like really my setup is just for home emergency. But if there's like huge inflation, I mean, that's going to be affecting me as well. It's really only the people that have full off-grid systems that could disconnect from the main energy prices that would be able to, cut off those headwinds. But yeah, we'll do a video on energy because that's the thing that's making people super angry right now. And as I've said before, in regards to my 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 video on government potentially being the restrainer, this is the next big thing for people to get angry at. Before it was all the lockdowns and the jab and all that. Obviously those were taking away tons of people's freedoms. But now you have freedom being taken over from a different regard. It's, people's financial freedom. People don't have the same type of financial freedom with all these inflated prices to be able to buy what they want. And it's being made abundantly clear to people that it's the government's fault. Same thing with the supply chain issues. We don't have the luxury of as much choice as we used to, and that also being blamed on government. So we will see what happens this fall. I sort of hate a lot of the prepper channels and things like that. Everyone, ever since Biden came out and said dark winter, it's like every single winter everyone's going to say this is the dark winter, it's coming. And I don't mean to make light of it. I mean, every year things definitely are getting worse. People are wondering like when does this thing break down and finally give way? Because last year we did not have this type of craziness with energy. Obviously the geopolitical stuff going on in some of those countries like the Bear Country and the one that they're attacking, that's getting worse. If you've seen the fighting that's been going on in and around the nuclear plant that they have there. So yeah, I think it's good to stay prepared. And I don't mean to make light of the whole dark winter stuff, but you just don't know. We just don't know when things finally break down. This is super pretty. So Yeah, I am in the suburbs, but I've got farms all around me, so it sort of buffers me from things. But just really, really nice and peaceful to come out here. I had originally recorded a video early this morning. Like, I woke up, my dog Mia, she woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And so I came out here like 5:36, and there was really pretty mist that was just hovering over the crops. And I would have used that video, except I was so tired. I was just like slurring speech, saying a whole bunch of times. I couldn't even talk straight, so I just trashed that video, and we're taking it again. But it's good for Mia to get double walks in this morning. So she's been a good dog. Been really happy to have her. It's good to have her for protection's sake, but it's also taught me a lot of different lessons with regards to just additional responsibility and things like that. So, anywho, I think the crops here, this I believe is soy. Tons of farmers, they are planting soy because it gets the nitrogen from the air, versus a lot of those heavy feeder crops like corn. They just can't handle the price of the fertilizer. Seen a lot of crops around here just plant soy and things like that, but I don't even know if I can get through here because it's grown so much since the last time I came out. There's actually some news as well where I think there was at least one, maybe other fertilizer plants that have shut down simply because they said it's not profitable because of the rising prices. Let's turn around here. Hey Mia, come on, come. Here, maybe we'll do a B-roll. I got this on a gimbal, so might as well do something fun. Anywho, yeah, there's just companies just can't fight these costs. So a lot of them have no choice but to shut down. Oops. My suspicion is that a lot of these places that are burning down, might actually just be to claim insurance, possibly. Just so that, you know, they know that they're going to go under. And you hate to think that, but you got to imagine at least some of them are like that. Anywho, I'm going to head back on into the woods and get out of here. Hopefully we don't get a whole bunch of ticks on us, because they have been really bad this year. So you have to let me know if you like this type of video. There's a channel called I Allegedly, which just walks around and talks about things going on in the economy while he goes around California. I don't really have that much to look at here in Ohio, but if you guys like this style of video, maybe I'll try to make it a priority to switch it up and get out of the desk. But no guarantees. I always have these big aspirations. Like for this video, I said I was going to do it last weekend, but in all honesty, it's just so busy that I find it very difficult to find the time. But hope you enjoyed this little chat. Again, maybe I'll do a couple filler videos, if you will, to the ministry, just giving a little bit of a review on the solar unit that I got. Maybe some gardening things that I'm doing. And we'll take it from there. So, Mia, come on. There you are, good girl. You're totally gonna have ticks on you now. All right, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness, everybody. God bless. Hope you're all having a good weekend.